And welcome back to another daily devotion. I'm Pastor Roy here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and this devotion is for Tuesday, March 21st of 2023. Yesterday was the first day of spring. I forgot to mention that, and so welcome to spring. We are in the book of 1 Corinthians. We've made it to the 9th chapter. Today I'm just going to look at verses 1 to 7. It's difficult to break chapter 9 up. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to attempt to do it at any rate. So let's take a look at these first 7 verses and see what we can kind of get out of this here. Am I not free? Am I not an apostle? Have I not seen Jesus our Lord? Are not you my workmanship in the Lord? If to others I am not an apostle, at least I am to you, for you are the seal of my apostleship in the Lord. This is my defense to those who would examine me. Do we not have the right to our food and drink? Do we not have the right to be accompanied by a wife, as the other apostles and the brothers of the Lord and Cephas? Or is it only Barnabas and I who have no right to refrain from working for a living? Who serves as a soldier at his own expense? Who plants a vineyard without eating any of its fruit? Who tends a flock without getting some of the milk? Okay. I think this is another one of those instances, as I've mentioned as we've gone through this study of 1 Corinthians, where it really is a bother that we don't have the other side of this, the other letters or the other conversation that's come to Paul about what's being said in Corinth. And we don't have all of Paul's letters either, but we just don't know exactly what he's responding to. But he's changed directions from where we were yesterday in the last few days. And he comes back and says, am I not free? And what's that all about? Well, perhaps, and am I not an apostle? So 2 things there, perhaps. He addresses the am I not an apostle first, saying, have I not seen Jesus our Lord, just as the other apostles did, and I'm not seen the risen Christ? Are not you my workmanship in the Lord? And he says, of all places, of all people that would accuse me of not being a true apostle, would be you all. I started the church there. The very fact that you are believers, that you've come to the Lord itself, shows that, is for you are the seal of my apostleship in the Lord. You are the proof of the pudding, as they would say. And so, but this is the problem we have sometimes. People tend to start to take, familiarity breeds contempt oftentimes. And so people start to take him for granted. And he goes on to talking about, do we not have the right to our food and drink? Apparently there's some people complaining that Paul is basically freeloading or abusing or taking too much or what have you. It's interesting, he mentions here about do we not have the right to be accompanied by a wife? After all the things Paul has said in the last few chapters about taking a wife, he doesn't have a wife because he doesn't want to have a wife. But the point is that the others have families and that you're supporting them. And the great irony is, of course, remember, Paul has occupied himself as the tent maker in most places he's been. And as far as we know, in Corinth as well, he was working at least partially as a tent maker, gathering his own or getting his own support. Now, there may have been some other places sending some money to him and supporting him in his ministry, and perhaps that's what they're griping about. We don't know because we don't have the other side of the issue. We don't have the question that he's dealing with or the complaint or what have you. So we can't be 100% sure what's going on here. But it seems to be it's something along those lines, that they are somehow thinking that he is not worthy as an apostle, not worthy of the support he's getting, that he's in it for the money. Certainly there have been ministries that have been in it for the money. That the world has seen that. I don't think that's the case with Paul, because Paul has been working as a tent maker most of the time, making part of his living. But the very fact that he did those things, that he was not taking a salary, so to say, from them, perhaps set a precedent and set him up for them to complain if he then did have a change in situations where he wasn't able to he'd be so busy with the ministry that he wasn't able to work on the tents. And now I do need to draw a salary, so to say, or I do need to have some provisions and something provided for me. And now all of a sudden, my guy was that guy that was, why does he want money now all of a sudden? we see things along those lines, unfortunately, when we deal with churches, and oftentimes that's the most uncomfortable thing for the pastor, anyway, is dealing with their reimbursement package, the salary package, and the whatever else they get, whether it's the benefits of the parsonage, what have you. Those things can cause the most discomfort, and you can have some people be very, very, very rude and inconsiderate, and insulting even, at times. Not accusing anyone of that here, but I've seen it in other places, maybe here, who knows. I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to say anything, but you can have that. It's a very real thing. And it seems it's not something new. It seems to be something that's been going on since Paul was founding churches, and particularly here, the church in Corinth. So we do want to examine our hearts and our motives, and are we being selfish? Are we helping the worker do the work of the Lord? And that's what we need to be doing. We need to do that as well. And we need to remember, Paul is very much an apostle. He perhaps even in many ways, since so much of the New Testament is of either Pauline authorship or written by people that were influenced by Paul, he's undoubtedly the most influential of the apostles in the construction of the scriptures that we have. So with that, I'm going to let you go for today. We'll pick up, and we may finish the whole of chapter 9 tomorrow. I don't know. We'll kind of have to see. It's been kind of a crazy last couple of weeks, and this week doesn't look any less crazy, so I may break it up yet. So with that, I'm going to let you go. If you do enjoy these devotions, if you gain anything from them at all, please do like and subscribe. We'd love to have you back again. We'd love to see you here. Please feel free to share. And as I often say, do go to the channel and take a look. I've got the channel up on the computer right now. You can look and you'll see on my page, we're just Roy Carlin, Karlen, and there is the playlist there that show all of the different books that we have already done devotions through. So if you're not particularly interested in 1 Corinthians and doing a study in that at this point, take a look. See what else we've done. Maybe something there will tickle your fancy. All right. With that, have a blessed day, and please, please be a blessing to someone today. Take care.